Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hello. We
Hello.
started without you.
Great. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, you should see the makeshift desk that I have. It's basically three pillows stacked on top of a chair in my friend's basement. 'Cause I'm
Wow.
traveling for the holidays.
Hey, whatever
But
works.
yeah, well, I'm just hoping that I don't accidentally hit the pillows and then
And then
my
we all go tumbling, actually.
yeah, exactly. And my laptop it goes tumbling is what I'm the most concerned about. Um, you know what? I really liked dropping in with you guys before we start the lesson just to hear some wins. I jumped on a couple minutes early and I heard a bunch of you guys already talking about how many wins you've had, and
I
I
don't
love
think
to
we
hear
did,
those.
though.
And
I don't think we really mentioned wins yet.
I think it's important to share them. So yeah, sharing wins. I'm going to butcher this, but when I was going through a course with Mama Gina at the School of Womanly Arts, she said, undigested goodness turns to shit.
Oh,
And I have really found that to be true, that when you have wins and you don't share them or celebrate them, that they kind of end up like, I don't know, morphing into something that's not good, or then we end up sabotaging ourselves, which is what we're going to talk about today.
well, that's interesting.
But yeah, let's just go around and share some wins. Grace, let's start with you since you're unmuted
Yes,
already.
I would say this is like amazing, not expected. My
What?
thing has been ice cream, a certain kind from a certain place in town, sent in by DoorDash, can have it in half an hour, and their cones are the best ever. So that's been my go-to for a long time, actually. So it was it was the first of Dawn's classes, or sessions here,
Yep.
where I brought up I'm feeling shaky now just remembering it, a situation when I was in my teenage years, and I talked about it. After that, I went and finished off a quart of ice cream.
Mm.
But I'll tell you what, it's so amazing. Since then, I haven't wanted ice cream. I think about
Mm.
it because I remember, oh, right, I'm not eating ice cream.
Yeah,
I've had like 4, 5 Christmas cookies, over the last few days, but no ice cream. And it's like, wow,
that's awesome.
how did that happen?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
it's
kind
the
of like
best ice
magic.
cream ever, but
Yeah.
it's like, wow, that's just really, so
That's
that's a
why it's
huge,
really important to understand all the different methods that I teach, because sometimes, like, I don't know if you ever tried the ball of light with your ice cream, but if the ball of
no.
light doesn't work on a craving, then you have to switch them, you have to switch methods.
Yeah,
And
I'm not sure, who I ate it with. So I don't think it's the craving. And I haven't done the other one, the push the food away with it. So I
yeah,
didn't do that
but
with it. But still,
the key is that it worked, right? You tried
yeah,
something else and it worked.
the whole system worked. And so I do the
Yeah,
morning meditation twice every morning, and I do the subconscious weight loss twice a
awesome.
day. I don't remember in the middle of the day.
Awesome.
So, who knows? I don't have to pick it apart, but I'm just saying something worked.
Yeah,
And it's just,
great.
maybe I'll dive into the ice cream tonight. I don't know. But to me, that's a huge
You
win.
know, the way that this works is that it doesn't make you never want to eat the foods again. It just normalizes your relationship with it. So it's
Yeah,
not
I've
that you're
heard you
never
say
going to
that.
have ice cream again. You're going to
Yeah.
have ice cream again. It's just that you won't feel fear if I when ice cream is around, because you'll end up polishing off the entire pint, right?
Yeah. Well, it's quartz now, actually, but yes.
Quarts, whatever. Pint, quart, whatever.
The bigger ones.
American metrics always mess me up. I
Yeah.
lived
So
outside the country
so
for so long.
that's huge. I
Great.
will say though, and I've worked with Casey on it. We're going to talk again tomorrow
Awesome.
about I just don't want to get out of bed in the morning. I just don't.
Hmm.
I just don't. And then I don't want to get dressed. So I'm out
Mm.
it's like night clothes. So that's a big one. But then I also want to revisit what I visited in the last session with Dawn because
Yeah,
I know there's a lot in there.
yeah, Grace, if you're feeling like that after some of these big sessions that we've been doing, it's probably that the memories are percolating up to the surface and
Yeah.
they're not completely healed yet. So
Yeah.
if you have
Yeah.
one-on-one coaching, that is a fantastic time to address
Yeah.
those with your coach. You're doing
That's what I'm
everything
going to do.
right.
So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for sharing, Grace. Okay, Lisa.
No. So I shared this a little just briefly in the Facebook group, but went to a Christmas party, my work Christmas party recently, and the I had done the social anxiety class, I sat down like 30 or 40 minutes before I had to leave for the Christmas party, and I went through the section again, just doing the process. And it was very interesting. I came up with 3 different scenarios, like inner children, time periods, things. And they kept being younger and younger and younger. And when I went to the party, I was very calm, which is very unusual for me. I'm very much introvert, very much feel a lot of social anxiety when I go into social situations, but I was very calm. And I hardly thought about the food at all. Had just like one small plate of food, felt completely satisfied with that. And went back when they put the desserts out, I got a little dessert and I didn't even finish it. And it just felt like when I left the party at the end, I still felt very relaxed, calm. I hadn't spent the entire time like cruising the food table and thinking about it the whole time, and using that as a way to interact with people. I felt more confident and just able to kind of relax and be myself and talk with people and stuff like that. And it felt like a huge win to me.
That's a huge win, Lisa. Oh my gosh. Congratulations. You know, I was going through my list of what worked and what didn't work in 2025. And one of the things that I did was I joined this like kind of like love mastermind to help me with my like figure out what was like whatever my unconscious beliefs are around love. And while it didn't heal, well, while I didn't find the love of my life, what I did heal was my social anxiety. And that has been so transformational. And it was sort of like an indirect benefit of joining that group, because I had to go out and be more social, and I had to get the courage to talk to strangers, or like be open to talking to strangers. And that was kind of like the whole premise of the group. And, you know, of course, I did all my tapping techniques on myself, and I am like, oh my God, the changes have stuck. I'm talking to people in airports. I'm making friends at bars. Like, I've tripled my social network in Austin because of it. It is far and beyond one of the best things I've ever done for myself. So super, super awesome to hear that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I so appreciated that, because I feel like that's been a huge stopper for me, like something that stopped me from like going out, doing things and all of that. And whenever I do go out, I tended to like really overeat and stuff like that. And so kind of just, it's got 2 benefits, because I didn't focus on the food and I felt comfortable interacting with people.
Totally.
So it's like a double whammy.
Double whammy, 2 birds, 1 stone. Love it.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, Jeannie.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Camera on tonight. It's earlier. It's only 8 p.m. Several. One, I'm pleased that I feel like I'm keeping up with the Thrive program. I've not let it run away from me. I can't say I've dived in enormously, but I feel like I'm keeping pace. So that's really good, because I haven't got that panicky feeling. You know what I mean? What I have found though, because I'm feeling calmer, I haven't actually been doing the ball of light, because I haven't actually had the cravings. Things have gone a bit quiet.
Awesome.
But it works both ways. I'd like
Well,
to
Jeannie,
do it, but
we'll talk
it's
about
not
that
come up yet.
today. In today's class, we're going to
Okay.
talk about self-sabotage, and so I think you'll get some answers today.
Oh, brilliant. That's excellent.
Yeah.
One thing I did do also, I've done this today, is I've reached out to, I'm trying to build a network of buddies, and I have sort of done this because I've reached out to somebody and said, because we started about the same time, and said, right, I've got, this, what happened last time. I haven't read the stuff yet, but I have read Brittany's email and said, why don't you check in with a buddy? And I said, do you fancy maybe doing that the week between Christmas and New Year? And I said, but don't let it be a burden to you. Yeah. And I also said, maybe me just asking you is really going to be enough to keep me on track. And the great thing is, she said, that would be great. Yes, please. So that was great.
So cool.
But also, I have been tapping in other situations to enormous benefit. We've had a little bit of building work going on at our house, and he's a good builder, and they're hard working. They're working on next door's house and ours anyway. They're hard working, but this bloke is a bit aggressive. He's just a bit aggressive in his manner. But you know that kind of build I'm talking about? I don't know if you do, but and he was demanding full payment before he'd quite finished the job. Now, I was not happy about this. And this is the kind of thing that would have kept me awake. And I tapped through it. I went, even though I'm feeling really anxious with the way this build is behaving, blah, 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 this sort of
Mm,
thing. And it
yeah.
really, what a difference that made.
Yeah.
I slept.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still bothering me, but the next morning I went out and I approached it. I asked my husband to be around because I said, Phil, he's a bit aggressive, as you know, a bit, not like super aggressive, but aggressive
Yeah, I
enough. You just don't
understand.
want that hanging about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a woman. That's not, that's that, age old combination. My husband didn't come out with me, but he didn't need to because I said, as I said to you, I'm happy to pay in full when it's complete. And he said, oh, but it is finished. Well, it
What's
isn't
this
quite,
about?
but we reached an agreement. But I was so pleased with the way I handled that in a calm, assertive way. Now that's unheard of, really. And had I
Awesome.
not done that, and I did end up paying him most of it, but I can live with that because he went from saying, you can pay me this amount and then this tiddly back next week. I paid him the bulk of it and he's done the bulk of it, but he's going to come back and tidy up and come back and finish this other job. Um, and
Awesome, Jeannie.
I will, and he also said, and when that's all been done, because there will be bits of snagging, there will be bits and pieces, you can pay me later. So we've gone from you must pay me this at this balance next week to next month. So I feel like
Awesome.
I know this
I
stuff
love how
works, but
you
it's like
handled
it's
that.
so good. It's
Yes.
great. And also,
Well
the
done.
food isn't calling me. We're in the week before Christmas. Actually, all the Christmas food in our house is stuff that either me or my husband have brought in. But it's not calling me. I'm not really having. It's just not calling me.
Great. That's the whole
Woohoo!
purpose of this survival series. Yay! You got it.
Thank you,
Thanks for
folks.
sharing, Jeannie. Yes, thank you so much. All right, Brigitte.
Hi. Okay.
Bye. You know what? I'm going to ask you guys to keep them to like a really concise, just like few little wins because we need a fair bit of time to get through today's class, and you guys really want to learn what I'm teaching today.
Okay. Sounds good. It's so funny. Bo can kind of feel my distress to one of my emotional
Oh,
support kitties, and he's like all up here, purr, purr, purr.
uh,
Okay. I know this is a win, whew, but when it happened, it didn't feel like a win because I'm in module 2 in of the thick and thin, and I did your tapping session, and then you had like another tapping session like right after it on the video, and so I did that, and this horrible, horrible hidden sexual abuse came up when I was 4, and it was horrible. It was black. I didn't see faces. I don't know where it happened or anything, but the feelings in my body were horrible. They were intense. And I kept thinking about what you said, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, keep tapping, keep tapping. And so I did. It was just horrific. But afterwards, when I tried to like see how much was left or see if I still needed to tap again, it was effing gone. Thank God. So I was just like, I know that's a win, and it's not always going to feel amazing in the moment because you're getting garbage that's been stuck for me 58 years. It's been stuck in there, and I had no idea.
oh,
So I was able to get rid of that. And it's like, okay, so much makes sense now. That's why I'm a crisis counselor, because I want to help others. And I have this deep seated, apparently subconscious need to help others because that was inside of me and it was horrible. And
oh,
I'm so happy it is gone, but I had no idea that I had ever been subjected to something that horrific. And I was in my room, and my parents were like, my mom has hearing aids, and they were like in the living room, and I screamed in my mind, and I screamed stop, 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 stop in my mind. I kept tapping, kept tapping, kept tapping, and so I'm so sorry to burden you guys with this. It was horrific, but it's gone. Yeah, I am
it's not
so
a burden, Brigitte, at all. Thank you for
I'm
sharing
so
that with
grateful.
us. Yeah, and you're in good company because pretty almost everybody here has experienced something like that. So yeah, I'm so you know what you can look. I think I want you to write down in a journal what you tapped on and what you worked on. And I want you to write out what your life has been like leading up to right now. And I want you to set an alarm, set an alarm in like 6 months from now to go back and to read that part of your journal, because I
Okay.
guarantee you, you will not recognize your life.
That's
I,
wonderful.
I guarantee you, you will have a ridiculously different life. Write about the emotions that you experience, write about what your day-to-day life looks like, write about the things that you are currently struggling with or that you have been struggling with, and go back and read it in 6 months. And I guarantee 90% of it will be gone.
All
Just
right.
from that, just from that. I mean, from the other stuff that you've been doing too, but that's a big one. If that's been hidden in your unconscious for so long, oh my God, your
I have
life is about
severe,
to get exponentially better.
good, because I've had severe fibromyalgia since the 90s, like
Oh, interesting.
severe, no joke, fibromyalgia.
I
And
wonder
I'm
if that will
very
get better.
curious. I know I do energy work. I know it's psychosomatic, and nobody's been able to help me except you in this program.
Oh, honey, I'm so
Okay.
honored. I'm so honored. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
that is not uncommon. I remember we were working with a woman last year who was mostly paralyzed in her body. And then by the time she was done with the program, she had full movement and she was even walking sometimes. Yeah, it was really incredible to watch. So yeah, thanks. Okay. Robin, Mary, Rocky, can we check in at the end? I want to get into this week's material just so that we have enough
Problem.
time to.
It was a quickie win.
Okay.
I'm being normal with food. There you go.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's
I have my
awesome.
joy back.
Yay. All right, Mary, you tell us too. What's your what's your win? Just shout it out. I love it.
That I've gotten rid of what I experienced when you did the trauma. And the next night I did it with the coach and I got rid of the fear of talking about it, which was
Wow.
huge. That was keeping me blocked. And Brigitte, congratulations. It is wonderful where you are now.
It is.
Yeah.
It
Thank
is.
you for
Oh,
your honesty and
yeah.
caring and sharing.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
for your vulnerability. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. I love that. Wait, Rocky, what was yours again?
I got my joy back.
You got your joy back. Oh, good. That'll be inspiring for Grace, hopefully.
It's been
Great.
around 6 years.
Okay.
How
It's
did I
been six
realize it?
years that you haven't had joy?
My husband died almost 6 years ago.
Oh,
And last night
God.
I've been feeling more happy. It's like I'm getting outside of this bubble I've been in and, depression, all kinds of stuff. And last night I was already feeling I've got joy. And last night at church, for the children's program, afterwards I told my daughter, I think I've got my joy back.
Oh, Rocky. Oh, that makes me want to cry. That's so
Wonderful.
sweet. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so
Wow.
much.
Oh, what a big transition.
Mhm.
Yes, I understand that. I mean, I've lost my dog, which was like my version of a husband. And I understand what that's like. I'm starting to the gray is starting to lift, but
Mhm.
yeah, it takes a long time. So, thank you for sharing that, Rocky. Super happy for you. Okay. All right, everybody, let's jump in today. We're talking about self-sabotage. Um, and you guys that have been following me for a while, you probably already know a lot of this stuff, but it's actually been really cool to redo the way I teach this class because I've been teaching this now for a decade, and I have like different information. We have different techniques. We have more science and more psychology to back up why these techniques work. A lot of my techniques work or like were discovered kind of like by me using my intuition. And over the years, I've started noticing patterns and doing research and discovering, I guess, science and psychology that backs up my theories. And so one of the things that I say about self-sabotage is, well, one of the things I notice in this program is that when people get stuck at self-sabotage and they don't use the techniques around self-sabotage, they end up not having success with the program. That doesn't mean that you can just do the self-sabotage and have success. You got to do all the other things too. But self-sabotage is one of the techniques, along with the body boundary violation, that if you don't do it, you will continually end up feeling frustrated. And so we'll talk about exactly how to find your self-sabotage and how to deal with it. So how does self-sabotage show up? We talked about it last week. I heard a couple of you, actually a few of you that are here today, shared, gosh, I noticed that my pants were fitting a little looser. Right? Robin, you said that. My pants are fitting a little looser. I noticed my clothes are fitting better. Somebody else shared that she liked the way her body looked in a bathing suit, and she liked the way her legs looked in her pants. Some other ways it shows up, you might be eating less, or you notice like, oh my God, I haven't even thought about, right? Grace just said, oh my God, I haven't even thought about ice cream. It's in there, but I haven't been eating it. Maybe it pops up when my techniques are working a little too well, or when you get compliments. And what do you do? What do you always do whenever that starts happening? You put the weight back on, right? And then this cycle repeats over and over and over again. I don't know anybody that talks about this. You guys, it took me 20 years to find the answer to this. And the original idea came from a book that I read called Eastern Body, Western Mind by Anna Dea Judah. And I talk about that in the module about self-sabotage in the program. So today what we're going to do is you guys are going to master anchor tapping, which is the solution to self-sabotage. It is the fastest path to developing rock solid willpower and making it stick. Okay, and if we have time at the end, I'm going to share how healing your anger is actually the gateway to higher consciousness. Okay? So, when we talk about self-sabotage, what we're really talking about is willpower, which is our inner authority. So Anna Dea Judah describes the psychological development of inner authority best in her book, and I'm just going to kind of summarize it here. So basically, when we're kids, we're surrounded by authority figures, right? Our parents, our caregivers, teachers, older siblings, people who tell us what is okay to do, what's not okay to do, what we should do, what we shouldn't do. And over time, we don't just learn how to react to those people. We start to build our inner authority based on them, which is basically like your coach voice inside your head that helps you make choices and stay on track. So that inner authority is a huge part of your willpower, right? Because willpower isn't about trying harder, right? If willpower worked, you guys, I know you've all tried really hard to stick to diets. I know you've all tried really hard to lose weight in the past, or really hard to stay consistent with your workouts, right? What it is, it's about having a steady inner voice that can organize your energy, okay? It says, here's what matters, here's what we're doing, keep going, right? It's a positive internal coach. And if we don't have a good relationship with our authority figure, and so one of the lines in the book is our inner authority mirrors the outer authority we grew up with as children. And if we don't build our inner authority on purpose, we'll just end up copying whatever authority felt like in our childhood. Okay, so for example, if your parent was absent or passive, you might grow up without a strong inner voice guiding you. So it might feel hard to motivate yourself or hard to stick to things. Or if your parent used criticism or shame, you might develop a very loud inner critic that's constantly putting you down, and that drains your willpower. So you're like really gung-ho and you're really, really good for 3 days, and then you're just like so hard on yourself that at the end of the 3 days you can't stick to it because you can't deal with the voice. Or if a parent was indirect or deceptive, you might learn to avoid, to procrastinate, or manipulate. Okay, sometimes you'll even manipulate yourself instead of facing things directly. Is this making sense, guys? If you think about your relationship with your authority figure, if you think about your relationship with diet and exercise and all the other programs you've tried and all the things you've told yourself you're going to do and then you don't end up doing, Is this making sense? Okay. So the lesson is, willpower isn't something that you like have or don't have. It comes from the inner authority that you developed as a child. And the good news is you can build rock solid willpower and make your decisions stick by healing that relationship with your authority figure. And the fastest way to do that is through a technique that I developed that we call anger work or anger tapping. So I was trying to remember, I'm like, why do we use anger tapping for self-sabotage? I know I figured this out a long time ago. So rather than like spout out, so one of the ways that Anodea Judah writes the Eastern Body, Western Mind book is that she writes it by chakra system. So she talks about the different psychological imbalances in like life, but she does it in the way of the chakra system, which is super cool. So I am by no means an expert in chakras, but what made me realize anger work was the thing that's going to heal weight loss is when she read, this is when I was like this, you guys heard my story about taking like 100 books down to Mexico and just deciding that I'm going to figure this out because I was so fucking pissed that I was still struggling with emotional eating despite now being a coach. This is, a decade ago, more than. So this is one of the books where I'm like, oh my God, this is the missing link for me. So the third chakra, for anybody that doesn't know, is right around your belly button. Okay. It's your belly center, and it is associated with personal power, agency, self-worth, okay, self-esteem, and will. So I'm going to just actually share. I just did like a Google search to see what Google says about the third chakra. Where can I find that? Hang on here. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah? Okay. So, I'm like, why do we do anger work for third chakra? Like, what is it about that works? So anger is strongly linked to the third chakra, located in the solar plexus, representing personal power, self-esteem, and willpower. Imbalances manifest as either excessive anger, control issues, aggression, or deficit, victimhood, low self-esteem, powerlessness. Energy often stemming from unprocessed emotions or feeling of being wronged, with healing involving acknowledging the anger to reclaim personal power and set boundaries. Okay. So signs of an imbalanced third chakra: excessive. I would say it's probably not us here. It's more underactive. But wait, where's the part with wait? Oh yeah, here. Okay. So the deficient, feeling victimized. Think about what we talked about last week. Having low self-esteem, being easily manipulated. I would say anybody that's an empath would fall under a deficient third chakra. Being passive, blaming others, generalized anger, resentment, turn inward. Physical manifestations of this: digestive issues, liver problems, weight gain due to blocked energy or muscle tension in the abdomen and back. Okay. Isn't that interesting, you guys? Cool, right? Okay. So, here's the best part. Here's the best part. You don't have to remember every time that your boundaries were crossed, or every time your authority figure wronged you, or every little thing that happened to you where you didn't speak up and you should have. All you have to do is notice in your everyday life when you're feeling frustrated, agitated, annoyed, irritated, displeased, and use that as the doorway into your well of anger. And the other best part is you don't have to know what to say, and you don't have to remember what happened. Okay? So we're going to do some anger tapping today, and I'll do some Q&A with you guys and answer any questions that you guys have about it. So, one of the things that you'll hear me say on these Q&A calls when people ask me questions about this is, I don't know how to get in touch with my anger. I don't know how to feel anger. And usually I'll give them an example of, or usually I'll ask them like, okay, when was the last time you were frustrated? Can you think about somebody that irritates you, that annoys you? Sometimes when you're in my program, I annoy you. Sometimes this program annoys you. Sometimes this, not being able to find shit frustrates you, right? All of those things. It does not have to be related to anything weight related. It doesn't have to be related to anything that you can correlate to food or a certain type of trauma. It's just working with the emotion. And the most important part about identifying the anger is that you feel it and that you get it out of your body. If you know what it's about, great. And if you want to say words about what it was about, great. But you don't have to do that in order for it to work. Okay? So we're going to practice this right now. And just to give you kind of like a little step by step, because I don't want to teach you this while we're all in anger. How it typically happens is, and I didn't come up with like primal therapy. I think they were doing this a lot in the 70s. I just added tapping to it, and it seems to be way more effective than like all the primal therapy and things that people used to do. So here's how it works with anger tapping is you find something that ticks you off. You find something to be angry about, okay? This can be just in your everyday life. This can be mid-session. Okay, sometimes if you're doing a push the food away and you feel some anger or annoyed or you feel frustrated or overwhelmed, I'll tell you, okay, switch and do anger work right now. Just a quick story. He still works for me. It's been 12 years. When I first hired my tech guy, he's from Lithuania and he has a very thick accent. And I guess this was before my travels because I had a hard time with accents. And for some reason, every time I talked to him, it would make me so frustrated and so pissed because he was talking really slow. It was really hard to understand. I did one session of anger tapping on his voice and it has never fucking bothered me again. And now he's worked for me for 12 years. Okay. So that's kind of a silly example, but it's an example of how you can use this technique to radically change your life. This man has been the most loyal employee. He handles all of my money. He makes sure all the coaches are paid. He makes sure that the sessions are completed properly. He is the most loyal employee I've ever had. And, just imagine if he pissed me off, I probably would have fired him. Right. And who knows if I would have found somebody that was that great, after him. So anyway, okay. So you start off by feeling the emotion. Then you pick your expression. Okay. You pick your expression. So I really like a combination of hitting things and yelling really loudly. Okay. Hitting things, yelling really loudly. The key here again is to get the energy out of your body. So you don't have to say anything. You don't have to make sense. A lot of people, when they do this wrong, they think that they have to say something or that the sentence has to make sense. You want to focus on the primal part of you. You want to focus on the primal feeling of just getting it out of your body. Okay. Whatever that sounds like, if it sounds like a scream, if it sounds like a growl, if it sounds like a hiss, if you want to say a word, that's totally fine. But I find that the less words, the better, the more sounds, and hitting is better. Now, some people can be like physically challenged, or maybe it's, hard, like don't do anything to hurt yourself here. You got to take care of yourself. This will give you a workout though. This will definitely, you'll work up a sweat. So find something. I'm just so happy to be sitting on this couch. So find like these really, really, really big pillows. You can take them and just like full body, just like, wah! Okay. And so you're going to do that and alternate when your body is tired or when you can't scream anymore. That's when you want to tap. Okay. So you sit and you tap, and what's going to happen the first round of tapping is that your body's going to feel really activated. You're going to feel energized. Again, you don't have to know what the problem is. You don't have to remember what happened. You just feel your body, okay? You keep feeling your body, keep tapping through the points, keep feeling your body. And then after a couple of minutes, you'll notice the anger will start to bubble up to the surface. That's another round. These are aspects for my coaches that are going to go through coach certification. It's another aspect of the anger. Again, we don't have to name it. We don't have to know what it's about. So then you go back and you do another primal scream, hit, punch for as long as you can. until you're exhausted, until you're tired and you can't do that anymore, or your hand hurts, or you just need to take a break and breathe or drink some water, and then tap. Okay. It's usually about, I would say, 2 to 3 minute increments in between each round. And I would say there's between 3 and 4 rounds for everybody for a complete anger session. The way you know you're done is you either cry or you feel completely exhausted. If anybody feels energized, which you would think would be like, oh, I feel so good now that I've got all this anger out of my body, that means that the anger is still activated and you still have another round. Okay, that's super, super important. Otherwise, if you don't clear it to a 0, you'll light up everybody in your room, everybody around you. Okay, you'll pick fights with everybody. I've seen this happen over and over. I've done it myself. I unfortunately walked my sister through an anger tapping session. She didn't get to the end of it, and we had a horrible Christmas about 5 years ago. So really be careful. Get to the end of your anger here, okay? Okay, I'm going to keep everybody on mute. Hopefully you guys can, also you can hit the air, okay? If for some reason hitting a pillow feels like too much, you can hit the air. I used to have somebody pretend that they're hitting one of those punching bags, that the boxers use. There's Damn It dolls. I had a girl who lived in New York City who made a box with soundproof foam on the inside of it so that she could put that over her head and scream inside of it. Okay. You can so what I like to do if there's people in my house, but I really need to get anger out, you can hold your hand over your mouth, but just leave your fingers slightly open so that some sound comes out. This isn't the best way. Okay. The best way is to just let it rip. But if you have people around and you want to do the exercise, but you don't want them to think that you're being murdered, you can cover your own mouth, but just make sure that a little bit of the sound comes out. Okay. Or go into a closet or get into your car or, go drive to an abandoned parking lot. This is some of the most powerful work that you will ever do. And if somebody told me you can only teach one thing for the rest of your life, I would teach this. No joke. It has been the most transformational thing that I've ever taught. And I'll tell you why. After we're done with this, I'm going to talk to you guys about I'm going to show you the scale of consciousness. And this is a theory that I came up with. I started noticing, I'm like, wow, when people really do anger work, when people really go through and they really get and do anger work and they're doing it consistently, their life gets exponentially better. And so it's just been a theory of mine that once you do anger work, your level of consciousness, your whole life gets an upgrade. And then I read the David Hawkins scale of consciousness, and he kind of explains why that's actually true. Okay, so everybody, I want you to think about anything that's ticking you off. You can think about something that actually is making you angry. Let's see, who was sharing about where did she go? Who was sharing about the contractor? That would be a great one. If there's somebody in your life that's really pissing you off, if you have to go home to visit family and you just don't want to see that person and you're kind of annoyed, or you're irritated, or you're frustrated, use your frustration about your body and about your weight. If you guys ever have that feeling, I'm sure all of us do, probably on a daily basis. Use that frustration towards your body as the doorway into anger work. Okay, that you can also find your anger through that, which is pretty much a common thing I would think most everybody experiences day to day. Okay, take a nice deep breath, everybody, and I'm gonna just make sure my door's shut. And so everybody, get comfortable, get ready. You can leave the screen on or turn it off if you want. It's helpful if I see some of you, because then I can at least get a handle on where you guys are at. So if you're available for vulnerability, you don't have to talk or anything, just leave yourself muted, but then I can at least watch your progress. Okay, so everybody, call up the thing that annoys or irritates you and maybe type it in the chat. Tell me what it is and tell me how annoyed, irritated, angry, or frustrated you feel on a scale from 0 to 10. Okay. Let's see. Robin, family, 10. Keep eating at night. Oh, that's a great one. 10. Linda's a 9. My soon-to-be cheating husband. Oh my God. Okay, Bridget, what's your number? Contractor's not getting back to me. Yes, 10. Nicole, 10. Being misunderstood. Ooh, that's a good one. Husband not believing, problem in our son's house, upset to a 10. Great one. Emily's an 8. Brigitta's a 10. Not being heard. Awesome. How I stopped eating all sugar but haven't lost any weight. Yes, that's a great one, Becca. Oh my God. Can you imagine if that's just been the gift that's been sitting there for you this whole time? It's just been like, well, we're not gonna let you lose weight until you release the anger, right? And then you are frustrated about your body, and then that's the thing that ends up moving the needle. Frustrated that I still don't want to really get up for the day. 10 would rather just go back to bed. Okay, that's a great one too. Okay, good. So everybody tune in to your number and feel it and just start tapping through the points. This is just a couple rounds of feeling it. And what happens when you're tuning into the problem, when you're thinking about the thing, when you're saying all this shit, oh my God, I don't know, that's the way the fucking guy's not calling me back. Blah, blah, blah. The tapping, when we do anger tapping, it kind of activates it. So it might even feel stronger. Okay. And then whenever you feel ready, stop tapping and start punching those pillows and scream at the top of your lungs. Honestly, if you don't scare the shit out of yourself, you're not doing it right. Okay. So to the best of your ability, punch pillows, hit things, scream, and get that energy out of your body. I'm going to time you for 3 minutes here. When you feel exhausted, move to tapping. The timing is going to be different for everybody. So I want you to follow your body, follow your energy, follow your emotions, follow your sensations. Don't follow my timeline. If it's not right for you to switch to tapping, then don't switch. Keep hitting pillows, keep getting it out. Okay? That's the key to this, is that you follow your own timing on this. You don't tap on anything right now. You just feel your body. Focus on feeling your body. Tap through the points. Your body will feel energized. And what you will feel now is the anger. After a couple minutes of tapping, the anger will start bubbling up to the surface. Oh, I always use this as an example. It's like when you have food poisoning, and you know when you throw up, how it's like the best thing ever after you're done throwing up, and then you go back to bed and you think it's done, but then 20 minutes later, there's another one and you got to throw up again. It's the same thing, except it happens in like 2 or 3 minute increments instead of 20-minute increments. Okay? So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the anger to rise again. Okay, if you once you feel the anger come up again, do the same thing again. Hit pillows, scream, shake. You can even shake your whole body. Ah! You can scream, you can breathe out really loudly if there's people in your house and you don't want to scare them. The more primal you can get with this, the deeper the healing. Lisa, if it feels really stuck, then you're not moving your body enough. Okay? So hit the pillows, scream, um, just intend to get the energy out of your body. It feels really awkward to do this the first time. The first couple times. I would say I was doing this for the first year, for a year before I did it right. No, if you've hit sadness, then just tap and focus on the sadness. You don't have to force yourself to feel anger. If you feel sad, then sit in the sadness, sit with yourself with the sadness and tap. Okay, that's a sign that you're done. But if you feel alive, if you feel energized, you've still got anger in there. You know, I'm reading the comments, so if any of you are stuck that are off camera, or if you want to ask a question, you can feel free to put it in the chat. I can coach you from here. You guys are doing great. So much yawning. Yawning's a great sign. It's funny, my ears pop when I do anger work, and my ears are popping right now. I can feel your guys' anger work. So if you're crying, the anger's out. Yeah. If you're crying, that means you're at the end of it, and just hold yourself in the sadness, tap through the points, be really present with yourself, with the sadness, hold your heart. If you want to bring angels in, if you want to bring light in, if you want to bring your adult self in to calm your younger self, anything that's nurturing, calming, and that feels really safe. Do that for yourself now. I feel shaky. Okay, so Nicole, that means you're still in it. So keep going. Yeah, I'm looking at your process. Thank you for sharing it. Yeah, you're going for it. You're really going for it. Maybe shake your whole body. Shake your whole body and scream at the top of your lungs if you can. Yeah, there you go. Awesome. And don't rush yourself, you guys. Don't feel like you're taking too much time. I'm going to sit here and stay here as long as you guys are in it, okay? Shelly says I need a nap. Yeah, you'll need a nap after this. Whew. Okay, Daphne, then if you don't feel energized, then I would say you're done. It can happen this quickly, I promise. This is Yeah, Nicole, remember to tap in between when you're doing the movements, okay? You're doing awesome with the movements, just you got to tap in between. That's how you release it. That's how you truly heal it. Um, what happens if I'm alternating between feeling pukey and crying? I would say keep tapping. Yeah, you guys are doing awesome. Good, Nicole, keep tapping. Keep tapping until you feel the anger rise up again, until you're like really activated. If you feel the anger come up, it feels like a purge. It feels like when you have food poisoning and there's another throw up that wants to come out. It feels like that. And you guys, you want to know how to make this go even faster is slow your tapping down. I know it's really hard when you're in it because you're like so activated and your nervous system is so crazy. But if while you're tapping and you're feeling your body, you tap more slowly, it'll actually help move things through faster. Rocky, there's not really a script for this. And we can take the transcripts from this and make it into like a step by step if you want. But these are just kind of tips I'm giving you. The process is pretty easy, but like you know, there's like intricate details. So I feel very teary waves of tears, not consistent. Okay, teary is good. Yeah, Rocky, you also could, it's really vulnerable to do this. Like you're on camera, you're with everybody. For me, it's really hard for me to do this, even with just like a therapist, me and a therapist. I mostly have to do this on my own. So you could just like feel blocked because of the, group aspect. Sometimes it's easier for people to do it in a group because we're kind of holding space for each other, and sometimes it's harder. So it might just be harder for you to do this with in the group dynamic. Linda said, I'm exhausted. I feel zero. Great. Daphne said, I turned my camera off. That worked for me. Yeah. I need to do solo or off camera. Yeah, totally understandable. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I see lots of yawns. Brigitte said, I'm at a 2. Okay, great. Is it a 2 anger or 2 sadness? I'm pooped. Great. Okay, 2 sadness is great. Then Brigitte, keep tapping and try to get your sadness to a 0. Robin said, still some energy, but not angry. Okay, Robin, take yourself back to the original thing and check in. Check in and see what your number is on a scale from 0 to 10. That's a good way. Everybody do that. If you're done, if you're mostly cleared, go back and think about the thing that happened. Think about the thing you were frustrated or angry or irritated by. Remember what your number was then, and tell me what your number is now. Mary, you're still at a 2 anger? Okay, good. Keep going. Grace said frustration is a 1, but only in thought, not body energy. Sadness is down. Okay. Frustration is only a 1. Okay, that's interesting. Sometimes people need a couple days for the like healing to settle in. I don't know why this is, but I think like all the new neural pathways kind of need to like settle down or settle in. So check back in on what, so if you're at a 1, but you feel exhausted, but you're like, I'm still a 1, check back in on it in a couple of days. Have a good sleep, drink a ton of water, maybe even check in on it again tomorrow or the next day, and then see if, I bet it would be at a 0. Brigitte said, that is so crazy. I'm at a 0 sadness, 0 in anger. Wow. Yes, it's worth it to get to a 0, guys, because I know like a 1 and a 2 is manageable, but a 0 is just like light years better than a one or two. And that's when you can have those really powerful cognitive shifts. This is when your perception about the problem and sometimes your perception of your entire world can like adjust. And then all of a sudden, everything in your life is different. This doesn't happen all the time. I can think of maybe 10 times it's happened to me in the 30 years I've been tapping. But sometimes when you do these really intense tappings and you get down to a 0, you have this incredible cognitive shift where you just see the world in a completely new way. And it's always for the better. Yeah, keep focusing on the sadness. You can put words to it if you want, Grace, to the sadness. The anger words aren't important for this exercise, but if words will help you get to a 0 on the sadness, then you can put words to it. I talked with my mom in the last 2 hours about my anger towards her. Maybe that helped. Yeah, I mean, that could definitely bring it up to the surface for sure. Robin, what's your number? You're at a 6, 7 of anger still? Okay, everybody take a nice deep breath. Okay, Robin, then if you're, okay, I mean, that just means you have more time and you need more rounds. So keep going, keep tapping. We're going to be here. We're going to kind of talk about things and I'm going to check in with people and make sure that people, make sure I answer everybody's questions. And then just keep doing that. Keep going back and forth. Make sure that you're tapping in between getting it out. And when you get it out, really get it out. If you're holding back at all, you won't get the change. Okay, you won't get the full healing. You won't get yourself down to a 0 if you're holding back. And this is hard to do. You guys, again, I was teaching this for a year before I really let myself. It's really scary to let all of your anger out. I have another theory. The first time I really let my anger out, it didn't sound like me. It scared the shit out of me. It didn't sound like any sound I had ever made or a sound that could be from me. And what I intuited was I was releasing generations of anger from my ancestors. And that's why it didn't sound like me. So this is quantum fucking generational healing, you guys. So it's okay if you don't get it right the first time. It's okay if you can't like fully get into it, you know, if you can't fully let it out, if it takes a while to feel it, because the shit that comes through you will be from generations of women that haven't been able to express their anger. Think about how long women have been suppressed from the beginning of society. This is the first time in human history that women have had power and have been able to have a voice and to speak up. Okay? So it's not surprising if this doesn't come super easily to you. It doesn't come super easily to most of us, because this is the kind of shit that would get us killed before. This is the kind of shit that gets your ancestors killed. Okay? I had a low guttural growl. It sounded evil. Yeah, mine did too. Mine did too. Mine sounded like angry, like wolves or something. It sounded like it sounded like a pack of animals is what mine sounded like. I've never made that sound before. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. Oh my gosh. How are you guys feeling? Okay, Mary, if you're still in it, keep tapping. We're going to be here holding space. Robin, keep tapping. Anybody want to check in? Anybody want help or ask questions or just share? Go ahead and unmute yourself or raise your hand. And also,
right here. I had always, and I didn't know what it was, but I always felt it in my solar plexus, and now I know. Thank you for identifying that.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Good. I love your comment about the growls. That's really cool. Okay, Grace. Also, you guys, everybody drink a shit ton of water. Take really good care of yourself tonight, okay? This is like doing brain surgery on yourself. Grace, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah, super nervous system stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just, it's the sadness really underneath all the frustration and shit because it's just I'm so sad about being sad. And where's my effervescence gone? Like I don't was it
Hmm.
it was Rocky who I was talking to first, who's starting to feel her joy. So I feel like maybe that's down the line.
Oh, 100%.
Just yeah, I just, and as far as the anger goes, I think this goes back to the domination, early life mother, alcoholic, narcissistic mother.
Yeah.
She was a lovely person to the world, but
It's
yeah.
okay. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, I know, I
Yeah.
don't. But what I'm saying is like I don't know if I ever knew, I don't know if I knew what I liked. That was gone, that was eliminated. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that's not completely true. I'm not going to say anymore. It's just there's frustration coming back from being mi directed away.
Dominated, sounds like.
Yeah, to what, yeah, what was
Yeah,
expected.
dominated and controlled, which is all
Yeah,
the third chakra stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, if you guys want to like get super deep into this, look up Anadea Judah's book
yeah. I'm
and
going to order it.
yeah, go deep into the third chakra stuff. I
Yeah,
think ChatGPT can even actually I asked ChatGPT to give me a summary and it didn't do a very good job. So that is it's a very dense book and it's really cool if you're into like nerdy psychology stuff like
yeah,
me.
yeah. I'll get it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
cool. You're welcome. Daphne, how
Could
was
you
that for
speak
you?
to the speed of it going away when you've had 55 years of anger that has been repressed? Can you speak to how that can happen?
Like you're like, how did this happen so fast?
Yeah.
I don't know, Daphne. I don't know why I think because I hold space for I'm always looking for hacks. I'm always looking for the fastest way to get the most change. And I just think that's the thing that comes to me. I'm always looking for those psychological shortcuts, and this was
And,
one of the best ones I found.
and when
By the
and when
way, this isn't going to go away. You didn't get rid of all your 55 years of anger like right now in this session, but I would say between 7 and 10, you could probably get rid of most of it. But also, and this is also important, anger isn't an emotion that goes away. We still have anger. It's like sadness. You're not going to tap all your sadness away and then never cry, but you will release your repressed anger, which is what's been blocking your inner authority and your will. Okay. So
Mhm.
I can tell you with certainty that there are very few things that make me angry now. So it's really hard if you're somebody that goes to anger quickly, or if you suppress things a lot, or if you don't speak up for yourself. All of those things will start to balance out, and you will start to respond appropriately to the situation, like you have completely healthy self-esteem, like how we were born as children. Okay, that's what this does. It brings the third chakra into balance so that you respond appropriately to situations. So sometimes it is appropriate to get angry. Sometimes it is appropriate to set a boundary, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you'll still have those experiences in life. You will just not be so blocked, and you won't turn inward and sabotage yourself when things start to get really good. So this is nuanced. This is nuanced. Like this is it's like it's kind of an easy hard one. So like I'm giving you guys this is I don't know. Does it seem complex? To me, it seems easy, but I've been
No,
doing this for
no, no,
so
no.
long.
It doesn't seem complex. It seems it seems I like the feeling I have right now, and I like the idea that what you just said can be manifested in my life because I'm more of the quick to anger, but repressed quick to anger.
Yeah.
I don't yell it. I'm not demonstrative with it. I repress it.
Yes. Right.
But things frustrate me.
Yes. And then you just sit on them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so having that, maybe it is really just opening up that pathway of how you explained it, that it's more balanced.
Yes. So what I would do if you find yourself being quick to anger and frustration, so we don't want to now like all of a sudden just start blasting people. When you feel that
Right.
frustration, go do the anger work
Okay.
separately. Wait, give yourself 24 hours and then notice how you then think about how you want to approach the situation or that person 24 hours later. And I guarantee some really fucking strong boundary or some really clear sentences or emotional like you will have very clear, very concise responses to that person or that situation once you process the anger first.
So the thought that I have is I don't feel like I have to puke on my mom right now of every emotion I have.
Yes. Yes.
Instead, I feel like I can right size everything
Yes.
and speak to my person living congruently, but not throwing up on her
Yeah. There you
verbally.
go. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Okay.
go. Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, Bridget, how you doing?
So much better. Yeah, that was impressive because I mean, my husband only told me like, well, on November 9th that he had cheated twice, right? So it's like 40-year marriage, and then he tells me he's cheated twice. And we've been kind of living separate lives for a while just because we're on different paths. And he's more churchy, I'm more spiritual. And, I believe in all of the things. I believe in all of the goodness, however it comes to me. But yeah, like yesterday, he's home on the weekend, and unfortunately, I'm home on the weekend. And I haven't filed for divorce yet because I'm waiting to get a few things and get like myself situated first. So I'm in the ensuite with my cats, and he's clear on the other side, with a bed in his office. But yesterday I kept hearing him like try to talk to me. It irritated the crap out of me. He's such a Neanderthal, and he's so annoying. And before I thought he was my rock and he was solid, and it was endearing, and I'm just not feeling it anymore. I have zero romantic interest in him anymore. Period. And so yeah, it brought up a lot of anger, and I thought I'd be holding that anger for a while. So I'm really shocked because now I'm kind of just looking at him and, in my mind's eye, and I just feel like it is what it is.
Yes. And that's how, I mean, my mom has been through 5 divorces. I don't give marriage or relationship advice, but I have seen divorces and breakups happen. And the best ones happen when there isn't the fight energy, when it's just not a match anymore and we can leave and celebrate each other and still respect each other. And so I would encourage you to use this as a way to activate your anger, whether it's about him or other shit in your life, so that you can get a really, really deep healing. Because if you guys, or once you do walk away from this relationship, you will have completely up leveled your life in so many amazing ways.
I'm feeling that. And
Yeah.
another thing too, I just asked myself because I can get like yes or no answers and without explaining, going into a bunch of stuff. And I also will get like what I call hits of information. And so I asked my body, I'm like, oh, this is really good. I'm like, if I can continue this healing process and tap on this anger and get the anger and resentment for whatever up and out, I honestly feel the fibromyalgia will go away.
I think
Period.
when I looked in the Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Body, I think fibromyalgia, or no, maybe it's arthritis. I think it's arthritis and anger are connected, but you might want to, you know her, right? You know that
Oh yeah.
book? Yeah, that, I don't know if that's connected
I
or if
haven't
that's
looked at
right,
that
but
book in ages.
yeah, it seems to be really, yeah, really accurate. But every time I look up my symptoms in
Yeah.
that book. Okay. Whoo, thanks for sharing. Okay. Anybody have any questions or stuck or need some help? Mary, how are you doing? I see you still tapping. You're doing good? Okay. Robin, did you get to the end of it? How'd you do?
It's like a historical situation with a lot of people. So I don't have the feeling of, I don't have the sparks thinking about these individuals, but
Great.
sorrow that there's no relationship and that things in the past. I mean, I kind of over time have figured out that my mom would talk about people behind their back. I just didn't think she would do it about me.
So usually when you get to sadness, what the sadness is it's about how much you've lost by harboring these emotions and feelings about that situation. So that's usually what the sadness is about when when you get sadness at the end of an anger session. So that sounds like what's coming up for you, Robin. Yeah, thank you for sharing. I'm so glad you got there. Whew, okay. This was a great class today. Do you guys feel okay? Does everybody feel good? I know this was a lot. I can see you guys like are really tired. You're like exhausted. Okay. Okay. There's like way more to share about anger work and all of this. And feel free to like play with this stuff. Annette is hosting a buddy call on Friday. So I know it's about to be Christmas, so we're not going to have our normal Wednesday call, but Annette was really, oh, there she is. Hey, Coach Annette, do you want to just introduce yourself to everybody?
Absolutely. I was just about to get off for a coaching call, but I'm glad I stayed on. So
Okay.
my name is Annette. I have been with Brittany since 2020 when I went through her coaching program. And I think she's amazing. I think you women are all amazing for being here. And I will be on the call on Friday.
Yeah. So if you guys want to do this again, if you want to share wins, if you want to check in with each other, we just kind of thought it would be like whatever you guys want to tap on or work on. So if there's any residual anger, Annette can hold space and tap with you guys and do another round of this if you want to do that on Friday. Or whatever's in the air. Okay. Thank you guys. Have a fantastic holiday.
What time is the call on Friday?
I don't know. Do you know what time it is, Annette?
Yes.
Do it in Eastern, please, because
I've got it. It's 4 o'clock Pacific, so 7 Eastern.
7 Eastern.
Put it on
Yeah.
my calendar.
7 Eastern.
Thank you.
So
Me
is that
too.
like midnight in the UK?
Probably.
Something like that.
So I only ever get every other one. Okay.
Well, that we do them for you. We do every other one for you, Nicole.
Thanks. I appreciate
How are you
that.
doing? How are you doing? You okay?
My grandson, we're looking after him and he was screaming. He just started screaming. So I had to go and sort him out. So I had to calm myself down
Okay.
to go and see if I could calm him down anyway. He's quiet now, but yeah, I feel like I'm still jittering on
Still
the
in it. Okay. Okay. Do yourself a favor and take 30 minutes after this and just try to get to that zero. Remember to tap in between. You're really good at the movements, but then I saw you like kind of forgetting to tap. Tapping is the thing that's going to calm you down.
Yeah, I was tapping with one hand while I was lying down because I was so exhausted.
Okay, good. Just as long as you don't forget to tap. That's the only way that you can do this wrong. And then tap slowly. When you tap slow, the changes happen faster. It's hard to remember. I always have to remind myself too. Okay, bye everybody. Happy holidays. Lots of love. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Bye
Christmas.
everybody.